the second. India have won the test match. India have won the series. They're going to get back for two. India home. Lords goes one.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of the 81 All Out podcast. This is your host, Siddhartha Vaidyanathan, and I'm joined today by two 81 All Out regulars, Ashoka and Kartikeya. I'll link Kartikeya's Substack, his articles for Cricinfo, and any other relevant articles. Regular listeners of the podcast will know both these gentlemen. And if you don't, you are soon about to find out. Hey, guys. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So we are here to discuss the first test between India and Bangladesh in Chennai. India won comfortably, as expected. And those who listen to our preview would know that while we did say that Bangladesh may have the weapons to pose a threat, I mean, we all know that India at home is a different proposition altogether. I mean, I don't think there are many teams in history with this kind of variety and versatility and ability as this Indian team has at home. And this has been going on for a while now. And, you know, it just proved in the very first day. I mean, I think Bangladesh actually competed well, not just on the first day, but throughout this test match. And, they did a far better job than many teams who visiting India would have done. I think many teams would have just been blown away much earlier. Bangladesh actually competed for like a bit of this match. On the first day, I would say they were on top. But then India have a number 7 and a number 8 who can come and hit hundreds. I mean, that's quite unfair, actually. I mean, to have that kind of depth and that kind of ability down the order. Ashwin and Jadeja just basically, made the most of the best batting conditions of the day, and also took the game away. And after that, with India's bowling and their depth of attack, Bumrah, Siraj, the young, Akashdeep coming in, and then of course the two great spinners, becomes very, very hard to chase the game after that. I mean, if Bangladesh had somehow managed to get India within 200, maybe they give themselves a chance to do something. But I think after India's first innings score, it's very little you can do. But they did, even in the second innings when they were batting, there were glimpses of what they were, the Bangladeshi batsmen were doing. The partnership between Shakib and the captain Shanto, very, very impressive. I would say one of the better partnerships we have seen among visiting teams in India. It's very hard to even pull that off because the team is just so strong. I mean, I'm imagining, those of us who watched, Australian teams in their heyday, or people who watched West Indian teams in their heyday. I mean, it's so hard to get away even like 1 hour from great teams. And this Indian team at home is on par, if not better than some of those teams. So, yeah, Ashoka, Kartikeya, thoughts? Of course, we'll come to all the other parts of individuals and Ashwin and Rishabh Pant. I think fantastic to see him back in Test cricket, Shubman Gill. But yeah, big picture thoughts.
This test, ultimately it came down to India having 5 bowlers and Bangladesh going with 5 bowlers, out of which 1 bowler absolutely refused to bowl only. They had to hide Shakib all through the test match. And that is that you can't do in India and get away with it. You can't come with like 4 bowlers, 3 of whom are pacers, and try to win a test in Chennai. That's not on. And also the reasons that they gave for Shakib's disappearance is also, not disappearance. Shakib's inability to bowl is also weird, because Shakib told apparently the host broadcaster's commentator that he had a finger injury, he can't give reps on the ball and all that. His finger is stiff and all that. But apparently their physio is saying Shakib is fine. He's okay to play. That's why we gave him the okay. So once again,
just normal Bangladesh cricket things.
Classic, yeah, classic. So So that, I mean, if you go with 4 bowlers, it's tough to win in India, man. And it really showed. I mean, the first day, I think 3 pacers, they did their best. Actually, that was actually a good start from Bangladesh. 144 for 6. All 3 bowlers were really good. Taskin, Nahid, and Hassan.
I think
thought
Hassan was the best.
Hassan, then Taskin, then Nahid, in that order. But soon they ran out of steam. That's it. Then Mehidy couldn't find any help on day one pitch. Shakib couldn't bowl only. Finished. End of story. Bowlers were tiring, and Ashwin and Jadeja took full toll. That 199 partnership translated into a 227 lead, right? Like if there was no partnership, that match would have been like almost parity on first innings. So there ended the match. Once you give 227 lead to this Indian team in India, you're not coming back. I mean, it will take a miracle for you to come back into the test match. After that, that Shubman Gill and Pant innings was I mean, by that time they had given up, man. They came together when the lead was like 250, 260. Then they hammered. So there was no hope for Bangladesh after that. Final innings, I really thought the top order played well. Although I mean, they got lucky also because Siraj should have gotten 4 or 5 wickets in that one spell of his. He bowled like spectacularly well. Even in the first innings, he bowled well, but Bumrah got all the wickets. But you have to have some luck to survive in India. So given all that, I thought Bangladesh second innings was, as you said, see, if you really think about it, if you substitute Bangladesh with any other team like Australia or England or New Zealand or South Africa, how Bangladesh batted in the second innings is about as much as you can expect from any visiting side. That's how much they will do on this surface against Ashwin and Jadeja, let alone Ashwin, Jadeja, and then Bumrah and Siraj bowling well. You will not do much better. So I think Bangladesh competed well, man. 280 might be because of that 199 partnership and all that. This was a good test match for Bangladesh. It feels weird to say that, but that's what it is. This is the definition of competing well in India, losing by 280 runs.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a way, I think India also sort of, you can say there was quite a bit of respect there for Bangladesh and their attack and their variety by the conditions itself. I mean, the fact that India didn't go with like a typical turn from day one pitch was a sign that okay, they are seeing that Bangladesh's spinners have that ability and quality, and so they said, okay, let's go the other way. Bangladesh,
Yeah,
on the
man.
other hand,
You just have to open StatsGuru and see that Tahijul, Shakib, and Mehdi are the top 3 wicket takers for Bangladesh ever.
yeah,
And
so
why give them turning trucks?
correct. So there was that recognition, and secondly, Bangladesh for their part. I mean, very few teams will come to India and choose to bowl first. That itself, because I mean, batting last against Ashwin and Jadeja is like okay, it's like okay, wing and a prayer. So that they chose to bowl first because they're coming off a successful series in Pakistan with their seamers. They backed them, and I think in the first 2 sessions, Hassan Mahmood and those 2 other bowlers were very impressive. I mean, yes, they got the conditions, and if Bumrah and India were bowling first, Bangladesh were probably going to be blown away in no time. But even then, to bowl in those conditions with that length, keeping it there and thereabouts was very good. I think maybe Taskin got a little bit carried away, but that happens. That's fine. You can't just come to India, land up, and bowl at the perfect length each time. We've discussed in the preview the soils are different, conditions are different. You need to adjust really quickly. But overall, I think they were very good. But I mean, India's depth is just too much, man. I mean, see, 146. Other teams might have probably collapsed for 220, 230, and then Bangladesh then come and make around 150, and still the game is somewhat, it's still in India's favor, but it's still somewhat there. They're still in the game. But then after the day one, they pretty much are out of the game in this case. Anyway, KD, Thoughts?
I thought Bangladesh would do better than they did, but I mean, this was not a spinning pitch. It was a new ball wicket, if anything. Basically, once the seam movement available with the new ball died out, it became a flat pitch, and India had the batting depth to still have a couple of players to spare to face the old ball. And I mean, India offered more threat with the old ball when they bowled than Bangladesh did. I mean, Mehidy and Shakib were both really slow. I mean, they're both average in the early 80s and the mid 80s. They tried to bowl quick by their standards. I thought they would be able to bowl quick. I was surprised by how slow Shakib was. But then I was looking at his figures, and he's not really that quick in Bangladesh also. So that sort of surprised me. But it's not. I mean, there wasn't a lot of turn on offer, and there was a lot of bounce on offer. So when you bowl slow on that, then I think what the tell was that Bangladesh batting, they played roughly one sweep shot for one drive, equal proportion of drives and sweeps. Whereas India played like 120 drives, I think, and like 20 sweep shots. So 6 times as many drives. And what that suggests to me is that see basically the way I think about this, or I think the way this should be thought about is that you as a spinner, you don't want the batter to decide when they want to step out and play attacking shot and when they want to defend, right? So you want to make them do that because they think defending is difficult, right? Because they think that there's no future in defending, and so when you bowl slow, you make it easier for the batter to defend, because you make it easier for the batter to play the ball off the pitch. So that's probably the reason why Jadeja was bowling really quick. I mean, Jadeja's average speed in the second innings or the fourth innings of the match was 93.5 kilometers per hour, which is sort of on the higher end by his standards also. Usually his average speeds are about 90, 91. Sometimes 92, but 93.5 is at the very high end of his range. And part of the reason for that was, I mean, and then Bangladesh did counter that in the fourth innings with the sweep and the reverse sweep. And Shanto did actually play quite a lot of very nice sweep shots in the reverse. And, they were all sort of, I think, they've come with this idea that, to get at the Indian bats, Indian spinners, you have to sweep them. And they could trust the bounce of the Chennai pitch. So this was not a bad ploy. But I mean, the Indian spinners found a way to make it fraught, right? So I mean, I think that's what is going on, which is that I mean, if you look at like say Gill and what's his name, KL Rahul and Ashwin and Jadeja and Pant batting, they just seem to have a lot more time, especially once the ball got older against the spinners. They were defending 3 or 4 balls, and then they were basically stepping out and lofting. Like Ashwin lofted a couple of sixes into the mid-wicket boundary and so on and so forth. And then occasionally they were also able to pick their spot and like sweep overs or, short fine leg or whatever it was. If there was no fielder behind square on the boundary, they would sweep over there. So it's I don't know. I mean, this whole year I was reading that Shakib was injured, and then but he bowled a lot. He bowled like 20 something overs. He went for more than a run a ball, so it was kind of hard for Bangladesh to keep him on for long spells because he was really going for runs, and he was not able to affect influence proceedings very much. But
No, but
sorry.
KD in the first innings he only bowled 8 overs. That is I think
Yeah,
that
but
is
he
what
got
Ashoka was talking about.
hammered. No, I mean,
Yeah, he got hammered, but then you have Mehidy bowling
No,
21 overs, man.
he was
Yeah.
introduced only after 50 overs.
Yeah.
So these guys went and asked him. Apparently, Murli Karthik on the commentary panel went and asked him
I see.
between days. And Shakib said that last week this guy had gotten a 9-wicket something, man, in one of the county matches in England. This guy is
Yeah.
coming from a county match in England where he had bowled 63 overs.
Yeah.
So once one of his spinning fingers he has gone numb or somewhere he has lost sensation, so he can't turn it, or it has gotten stiff or something. So it's very difficult for him to get revs on the ball or whatever. So they were hiding him, but the comedy came later because this was told on TV. Then the reporters went and asked the physio. So if this is the case, how did you give them okay to play? Physio says, it's fine. He's fine. No, what's the big deal? Shakib looked fine to me. There was no injury and whatnot. So we don't know what is the case. Who's telling the truth? What has happened? Nothing. All we know is he came
but
after 50 overs.
I think
That's
it's very likely that both of them are right. I mean, it's not unheard of. No, I mean, lot of players play with niggles all the time. Very few players are actually absolutely 100% all the time. They're all. I mean, they're constantly playing nowadays, so they always carry some injury or the other. So. But I mean, I don't think the injury was really a factor in how much he bowled or how well he bowled. I think his problem, both of their problem was, and this is a problem which a lot of visiting spinners face in India. They find it really hard to work out what speed to bowl at in India. And the thing is that the correct speed is invariably on the quicker side than it is on the slower side. Especially for a finger spin. And you will see it's like Jadeja's strength in this match. I mean, he's bowling really fast. It's a remarkable thing that he does. He has now 299 test wickets in 73 matches. And if Ashwin hadn't stolen some of his wickets, he would have got his 300th wicket in this test match, and then he would have finished the double in 73 test matches, which would be one more test than Botham only, and 2 tests less than Imran Khan. It would have been a fantastic achievement. But, being Ashwin and Bumrah and all these people, they stole his wickets.
I think I'm surprised Ashoka still hasn't said how many wickets has Jadeja stolen from Ashwin.
That's what, I mean, he knows it. He's Summa saying it just to get a reaction from me.
Anyway, yeah.
So,
yeah, remarkable spinner, no doubt. I mean, come on, man. 299 wickets in 73 tests. You'd said that at the start of Jadeja's career, and many people would have laughed. I might have laughed. But, I'm talking back in the late 2010s when he started off. But yeah, that's how remarkable he has turned himself out to be as a spinner. And he's first choice away from home also. I mean, for his batting, of course. But also, yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
Oh no, come on! He would play as a specialist spinner. I mean, if India play 2 spinners, they're playing Ashwin and Jadeja. Those are
I don't know. I don't know if he would play as a specialist spinner.
For sure, he's a great bowler.
But would he play Adam Ashwin purely as a spinner?
No. If they play 2 spinners in India, it's Ashwin and Jadeja.
Yeah, of course. That is no doubt. No, I'm saying if they play one spinner only for bowling, that'd probably be Ashwin. Yeah.
No, but we have proof of this. No, Ashoka is not going to like this. But basically, we have evidence that when India have to play only one spinner and they have to choose between Ashwin and Jadeja, they play Jadeja. And they are right to do so.
Yeah, they do that. I mean, that's fine. I think
that is away, man.
So why would it be different in India if they were only playing one spinner?
Because Ashwin is a better spinner in India than, and...
Than anyone.
Than anyone.
Yeah.
Mad,
yeah,
man.
I think
He's
actually
under
Ashwin
20.
is a better spinner than Jadeja even in England and Australia and everywhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
that's not why. That's not why they are leaving him out. No, they are leaving him out because they wanted a fast bowler extra. That's why they are leaving him out. That's not.
Yeah, and no, and then also that they're saying that the fifth bowler we can do with control. We don't really need Ashwin's like creativity and all that.
yeah, they picked Shardul and all as the fifth bowler. So yeah, so why not?
So
They won't do that in India, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
hmm.
yeah.
No, I mean these Bangladesh basically, if you think of it as like basically four contests, right? One is Bangladesh bowling with the new ball, Bangladesh bowling with the old ball, India bowling with the new ball, and India bowling with the old ball. Then in the first innings, three out of those four India did better than Bangladesh. They were better with the new and old ball when they bowled, and they were Bangladesh were not very good with the old ball when India bowled. I mean, you can see it in the record. No, when the ball stopped seaming, no, and it got softer and older, batting became much easier. And it was the same for Gill and Pant. No, once the ball got old, Bangladesh really had not much uh, teeth to their attack. I think one of the things that this test match tells me is that if Bangladesh are really, really want to win the next test match, no, and if the next test match is played in conditions where you still need three fast bowlers, then they should play Taijul ahead of Shakib and sacrifice the batsman because Mehidy can bat and like they have to try to take 20 wickets.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what those conditions are going to be. Kanpur can be, it can go either way, and they also could be like the morning help for the bowlers as there usually is in North India around this time. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think Shakib is a little strange, man. I mean, I think he's much more than just like for them. I think for now he's more a batsman in this series that they're using, and he batted well actually. I think in the second innings. I mean, the third day evening it was a bit of a lottery for him. He got lucky, but fourth day I think he was good. He was seemingly good, and then of course Ashwin worked him out with some fabulous length. I mean, it's hard to play that length anyway, and no for most batsmen. So
Bangladesh's batting was good, man. I mean, I don't think they have any problem with their batting. Uh, you know, uh,
no, I don't think like there are quite a few of them who are chancing it, man. Like Litton, I think is just chancing
yeah,
it. I
but they're
don't think
being
he's really
forced.
figured.
No, they're being forced into that. So,
Yeah. I think Shanto was really impressive. I mean, I've actually not seen much of Shanto as a test batter. Uh, but this sort of innings was high quality. I mean, he did come down the track and hit some good six. I mean, over the bowler's head and all. He was hitting Ashwin over his head, which is not something. And he was also playing that reverse sweep really well. He's obviously practiced it, and he was hitting it flush, man. I mean, there was no ifs and buts. There was no holy popiness in that shot.
He had a good 18 months before this Asia Cup and then ODI World Cup. But after that, there was this massive slump.
Yeah. I've seen him. I've seen him as in a short form as a short form batter. But this is the first, I think, innings where an extended period where I saw him in tests. Very impressive, I felt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should talk a bit about India's bowling also. I mean, Bumrah didn't get the best conditions. Bumrah, Akashdeep, Siraj, they didn't get the best conditions to bowl. I mean, they did. They got day 2, which was still good, but day 1 would have been perfect. But still, they were immaculate. Man. I mean, I thought first innings, Bumrah and even Akashdeep, he bowled very little, but he was good even in that brief little spell.
I'll tell you what. In the first innings, Bumrah got 4 wickets, but I thought the best Indian fast bowler in the first innings was Siraj. I thought he was even better than Bumrah. I mean, Bumrah kind of lost his length a little bit. He was trying. I think he saw the first day whatever Bangladeshi bowlers were doing, and he got a little excited. He wanted to do some that West Indies series level magic stuff. He went down the leg. He kind of overpitched a little and all that. But Siraj was absolutely great, dude. And that is, that for me is a better sign for me, because India going forward need support for Bumrah. Bumrah doesn't, if he loses his length like in a session, he will catch it back in the next session. That's not a problem. But he needs good support. And as you said, Akashdeep is a good find. I was checking a little bit of Duleep Trophy as well. Among all people, I thought Akashdeep, looked like someone who could join this trio. He looked as ready as Siraj was ready when he started his career. So I think, and Akashdeep has pace also. He can maintain like 135, 138 even in his second and third spell. So that is also a good thing, is what I think.
Yeah, I think compared to Mukesh, I would say Akashdeep has a little bit more of an edge.
Mukesh is 5 kilometers slower, even in first spells. These other sensations that people are now behind, like Harshit Rana, our old guy Prasidh Krishna. I've seen their second spells, man. They lose pace. Especially Harshit Rana loses pace. And once he loses pace, he loses direction also. He kind of tries to do certain things. So he can't exert control continuously.
There was Avesh, no? There was a lot of hope on Avesh, actually.
Avesh is the kind of guy who will... See, I don't know, man. I've seen Avesh in this Ranji Trophy, in this Duleep Trophy and all that. The problem is, even he doesn't know which Avesh Khan will turn up, dude. There will be this Avesh Khan who's like deadly. He will get balls to pitch from good length and then bounce to the throat. You will get that Avesh Khan.
Oh, the Srishant phenomena.
Or he will suddenly start bowling some rank rubbish balls also. So I don't know. So, but but having said all that, his first class average is pretty good. He averages 22 or something in the first class. So there's a reason why he's playing Duleep Trophy.
No, and the former bowling coach Paras Mamre, he was talking highly of Avesh. I think there's a bit of hope spin there, and he obviously has seen the raw material there. So I think that is there. But yeah, I think Akashdeep just seems more ready. If I have to use that any other word,
yeah, he seems like half a step closer to these guys than those guys. Yeah. That gap he has slowly. And you saw that, no, the two balls that he got, I think Zakir Khan and Shanto, full seaming in, a little bit of swing also early on. So he got 2 bolts, and one of them was that Mominul dismissal.
Not in the first Shanto, Mominul.
Zakir and Mominul,
yeah.
That Mominul dismissal, dude, amazing, because it was also LBW. Yeah, he was also LBW and then bowled. It went out to hit the stumps. If it had not hit the stumps, I mean, it was like plumb. Amazing, man. He got it immediately. In his second over, Akashdeep was like tuned in. So I think this is a BGT prospect, Border Gavaskar Trophy export. You can send him there.
It seems pretty obvious that they are looking to play him there because, this is the prep, right? So I think if Shami is fit, and I really hope he is, then for that series, then Akashdeep will probably be the 4th fast bowler if they pick 4 in the test.
And one thing we have to be also mindful is that India is also playing tests after 6 months, man. These guys don't. They have been playing all this, your T20 and then the Sri Lanka series. The last tests India played was in March, is it? Yeah. So,
but apart from Rohit Sharma and Ashwin and Jadeja and
Bumrah,
and Bumrah, the rest of them have all played just last week and the week before last.
Duleep Trophy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's after a huge break, man. I mean,
Yeah, but I don't think the break really matters, man. This is like every time if Rohit Sharma had made runs, no one would have said that it's a break. I mean, he got 2 really good balls, and not that it's got nothing to do with like
that's
eh,
fair. But for bowlers, it probably makes a difference, right?
Bowlers,
I
man.
doubt
I mean,
it.
batters.
I mean, not nowadays. I mean, these guys are. It's not like they're not doing any work. No.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
the match play of 20 overs a day is not a joke, man. So
yeah, but
I don't know.
that's not like these guys are still like their conditioning is way better than ours. I mean, they have a
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
they're also on a full year contract now, so they also have a full year plan that they have to follow in terms of their training and they're all monitored nowadays by their trainers and whatnot, even when India are not playing. And nowadays, now it's not only the India trainers who are monitoring them; it's also a lot of these people. Their IPL trainers also monitoring them. So
Yeah, I'm sure there's all that. But someone like Akashdeep or Siraj
yeah,
or
but
something,
come
if
on,
they could.
this thing where Kohli gets out cheaply twice, and suddenly people ask, oh, when was the last time he played a red ball match? It doesn't work like that. Come on.
No, I don't think it's a thing. But I feel like for these fast bowlers purely, and maybe even spinners, if they could play a few games in England, or if they could have like some match games, it would help. Match
Yeah,
practice.
but I don't think they got a problem now. I mean, there's plenty of Test cricket. There's Ranji Trophy. There's this Duleep
Now
Trophy.
it's fine. Now it's fine. Yeah.
There's fixtures for them to
Yeah. Now for the rest of the year, they are fine. Yeah.
And they
All right.
didn't, and none of them looked rusty. I mean, they all looked like absolutely tip top. You ask me, all the fast bowlers look.
That is real credit. I mean, I think I always marvel at how these guys, invariably, it takes. I would just think it's human also, man. Like to take a bit of time to adjust or all. But bowlers forget Bumrah. Bumrah is like a different order altogether. But Siraj and even Akashdeep. I mean, the way they adjust and the way they get in right there, it's brilliant. I mean, it's just marvelous how they are so tuned in straight on. So, yeah.
Shadman Islam hardly kept a feet down on earth, man. He was almost flying every ball. These guys were bowling at him. He was hopping, literally hopping. And it's very rare to see a batsman hopping around in Indian conditions. So the pitch was also surprisingly bouncy, first 2 days at least. I did not think that. I knew Chennai had the bounce, but it was also, always the, tame bounce. It was not.
No, on day 4, you saw some of Jadeja's deliveries, right? They were just flying above Pant's head and the slip's head. That he was bowling fast, as KD said. So there was good bounce throughout. I love that about Chennai. It gives everyone, all the bowlers, a great chance. Even if there's no
and
turn,
there wasn't really
bounce is great.
If you leave aside the footmarks, there wasn't really any turn. So it was not a spinning pitch at all. Like
no way. Yeah.
So
in fact, I was looking forward to that. I mean, even though it may not happen, I was looking forward to one of those pitches that turn from ball 1, and then you have like 2 spin attacks trying to outdo each other. That may not happen though. So
that will not happen this series. Next series versus New Zealand, that is going to happen.
Yeah, but versus New Zealand, those spinners are not going to be as good as Mehidy, and Shakib. No.
Yeah, of course not. So that's why they are going to give them turning pitches.
Yeah, because New Zealand have this fast bowler now, right? You were saying.
Will O'Rourke.
Will O'Rourke.
Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I think Siraj, unsung hero of this test match. Siraj, amazing bowler. Jadeja, obviously 299. But then karma works that way, man. You guys stole a lot of wickets from Ashwin, so somebody has to steal. And it's not like stealing,
no. You guys.
What you guys are saying?
You guys, in the sense, everybody who's not Ashwin has stolen wickets from Ashwin. Non-Ashwin bowlers have stolen wickets from Ashwin.
The guy
Just
has
imagine.
more than 5 wickets per test match, man. What more do you want?
But these
What?
guys want. If Jadeja wasn't there, Ashwin would be past Murali by now. No, so that is
Yeah.
what.
Maybe if Jadeja wasn't there, Ashwin's arm would have fallen off by now. Come on.
That's true. True. No, and if Jadeja wasn't there, come on, there would be someone else who would also be stealing wickets. It's not like Ashwin will be the only spinner India play at home. So, yeah.
Then Ashoka would be like, he would have another bandwagon. Is Kuldeep better than Vaughan? That's what he would be on.
Exactly. Imagine how many wickets these guys are taking from Kuldeep, who is not
Yeah,
even
man.
playing in the match.
I feel a little bad, man. That guy, from junior, he has gone to 30 plus now, and he's still on the fringes.
Any team in the world, any team, Kuldeep Yadav walks in, man. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt. This guy can't get a game here. Yeah. Hopefully, he
Same
plays.
with Aksar. Same with Aksar. Same with Aksar.
No. Come on. Aksar is nowhere as a spinner, nowhere. Kuldeep is a different range, man.
No, with Aksar's skill sets, he will walk into Sri Lanka, he will walk into Bangladesh, he will walk into Pakistan, West Indies. I would say even South Africa and all that. Like, he's better than Keshav Maharaj is what I think.
Oh, yeah. With his all-round ability, for sure. Yeah. But I think purely as a spinner, Kuldeep will be number one spinner in any team.
Yeah, any team.
Come on.
Of course.
Yeah, you would pick Kuldeep ahead of Shamsi for sure.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Dude, I'll pick Kuldeep ahead of Maharaj, man.
Well, yeah, obviously, because he's a wrist spinner and he's way more variety. In South Africa, that counts for a lot.
You definitely pick him ahead of Leach or any of the spinners England have. So, yeah.
Of course, you'll pick him ahead of Abrar and Salman Ali Agha.
That and all. That is forget. Will you pick him ahead of Prabhat Jayasuriya? That is the question.
I think I will. Prabhat Jayasuriya is good, but Kuldeep is special, dude. He's amazing.
Salman Ali Agha is like Joe Root, man. He's a part-time bowler. Really? He's a batsman.
Yeah, I know.
No,
but the question is this: will you pick him ahead of Lion?
That I don't. Yeah. Lion is a bit extra special there. But you would definitely pick him ahead of whoever the second spinner.
No, but you know what? If Kuldeep was Australian right now, this Australian attack is already all-time great. Like that. Then you add Kuldeep to this Australian attack, and it becomes like they would win in India.
I think. And in Australia, Kuldeep would anyway always have that edge because of the being a leggy in Australia is like a huge plus on those pitches. Yeah. Anyway, Rishabh Pant, guys, let's say a bit about Rishabh Pant. It's not.
I think Bashir and Hartley really dodged a bullet, right?
Yeah, he would.
And those wickets are good, man. Rajkot, Visakhapatnam, Dharamshala, everywhere where Gill made runs, in that series, Kuldeep would have, Rishabh Pant would have had a lot of fun, especially since England had put themselves in the horrible position of playing Bashir and Hartley and not playing any other bowlers, so that if Bashir and Hartley got hammered, they would even be able to take them off. So, and of course, Kuldeep. Why do I keep saying Kuldeep? Pant has got this special affinity for James Anderson also. So,
Yeah. Famously reverse sweeping him and all that. Yeah.
Also, he's nuts, man. I don't think something has gone wrong with that guy. Like they dropped him as a baby or something has gone wrong.
They dropped him into a portion of a magic potion, like into
I don't know.
Magic potion.
They need to scan his head. I don't know what is wrong with that guy.
That's your headline, Sidvi. Rishabh Pant is the modern day Obelix.
No, but see, let's also not forget that he was like this close to never playing cricket again. Okay, I mean that's like serious tragedy, man. I mean that could have. I mean, forget never playing cricket again. They could have got much worse than that. So it's like huge turn of fortune that he not only survived that, he came back and he's back to playing and he's back to where we
And it's
knew he
so
was.
dangerous, no? I mean, look, you had 4 players who've gone through pretty serious injuries in the last 3 years, and long-term injuries. Cool. You had Pant who had the car accident. You had Bumrah who had the fracture in his back. You had KL Rahul who had a long-term injury, and you had Shreyas Iyer who had a back problem. He had a slip disc at age 28, which is like really unusual. I mean, slip disc is something which happens to men at least in their 50s most commonly. He had it at 28. So, and for 3 out of the 4, the rehabilitation has worked out well, and they're back and they've been playing. And Bumrah, for instance, he came back, he played whatever World Cup, he played very well. He came back in the tests. He played both the tests in South Africa, 4 tests against England. Uh, he played the T20 World Cup. Now he's playing. I don't know of the next 10 test matches, how many, of the next 9 test matches, how many he'll play. I suspect he'll play 8 out of the 9, or at least 7 out of the 9. I mean, they'll probably try to play him in all 5 in Australia.
Yeah, he
But
has to play in all 5 in Australia.
they will give him a break in one of
Maybe
the New Zealand
Zealand.
tests. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and Pant's recovery has worked out well, and KL Rahul's recovery worked out well. So, I mean, these recoveries are really fraught, man. I mean, it could have so easily gone badly wrong for India, no? If especially if Bumrah's recovery had not worked out, but everything has so fallen into place for them, and it's a really,
Yeah, but KD,
I'm
the other
convinced that
3 were
it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of luck also for everything to fall into place properly like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying the other 3 were cricketing injuries, man. I mean, this was so much more serious. It could have basically ended a guy's life.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I was
imagine
wondering
that.
this. I wonder if the PCCI has changed its policy. I mean, they should really change its policy. If they are offering these players such huge contracts, and if they are asking the players to commit all their time and 12 months of the year, the centrally contracted players, then they should force those players to employ professional chauffeurs. No, like it's a really bad idea for these guys to be, I mean, and that's not uncommon, right? I mean, all these footballers have like these contracts which prohibit them from going skiing and stuff, during the season.
Yeah,
and,
I would be absolutely shell shocked if the LA Lakers allow LeBron James to, go on a drive a car from LA to San Francisco by himself early in the
Overnight.
morning. Overnight. Come on, man. I mean, nobody is mad enough to do such things. And I say LeBron James fully because Rishabh Pant is that level of talent in cricket when it comes to the great. So,
but why don't they enforce it? I mean, what's the upside of this? And it's like it's not like the BCCI doesn't have this kind of resource. No, they are employing like all these fancy management consultants and lawyers and accountants.
Dude,
and all
that's
that
not
to
the issue,
negotiate
man.
contracts.
That's not the issue. The point is, these guys are young people. They can now buy some fancy cars and they want to drive it.
But
No?
so
wasn't
can
there a
LeBron
story
James,
of
no?
Rohit Sharma getting like
Yeah, of
some
course.
speeding tickets and all that?
Yeah,
What
he
is
tried
this,
to
man?
drive from Mumbai to Pune or something
Pune.
like that.
What sort of nonsense is this, man? Like, are you nuts? Forget the speeding ticket. You could get into so much more serious trouble when you speed like that.
Yeah, there are good vada pavs in Mumbai itself, man. No need to go to Pune.
I was waiting for that to come up now. I think that is a bit of a war, though, between Mumbai and Pune about the vada pav and which has better ones. KD will know better. So, no, but the fact is, you have, I mean, first of all, what BCCI does, how they do it is very hard to know, man. I mean, like how many of those decisions are actually being thought
This
out?
is
How many
actually
of those?
also, you're right. No, we don't know because firstly, they don't tell us. they don't have an official spokesperson who's like sits in front of in a press conference and issues statements and stuff like that. But the other thing is that there's no players union, because a players union would enforce this kind of thing, because the players union would look after the welfare of the players. No, I mean it would definitely be involved in contract negotiations and stuff like that.
There was a story, if you like, I think a couple of months ago, maybe, but of this, when Anshuman Gaikwad, the former Indian batter, passed away, and Karthik Krishnaswamy wrote a good piece about how, Anshuman Gaikwad was like, somebody who was leading this thing for the players union, and how a players union would have actually helped him with his health and sort of raising funds for him and sort of giving, helping him.
Or providing health insurance, man.
Providing health insurance, giving him medical sort of support, financial support for his medical needs. But nobody, this is like such an irony that the person who was in charge of the player's body had no power and himself suffered because of it. And it needed like people like Kapil Dev coming and saying that, putting a clarion call and saying, please, BCCI, please help Anshuman Gaikwad. Sandeep Patil writing a column in Midday saying, please help Anshuman Gaikwad. What is this, man? I mean, you're a body worth so many billion, crores and crores. You have to help your former players, and you have to have a system that helps them.
Yeah, it cannot all be ad hoc, but the BCCI's bias is towards sort of amateur, ad hoc, honorary work. No, like, I mean, the Lodha tried to professionalize them, and they voted Lodha out first chance they got. So
everything went. Lodha is a footnote in history now. Yeah.
Poor that Supreme Court, poor fellows, like they spent so much time, hours and hours, pouring over stuff and proposing things, and like BCCI with one vote, like the moment they got the chance and the moment they got the votes together, they throw it out.
Yeah. Anyway, I think one thing we are missing, Rishabh Pant, and of course also the guy who has become the Mr. Consistent for the Indian team, Shubman Gill, man. Like, can't stop him from scoring. Consistent
50s
in India.
In 5 consecutive tests now.
5 consecutive tests, like just coolly reeling them off. So yeah,
he's good. I think. See, my thing with Gill is there's too much scrutiny, man. There is too much hype, and I think also this guy is leaning into all these social media things. If you leave all that out, if you leave all the noise out, he's a tremendous talent. He has been a tremendous talent for from what? Age 16, 15 when these guys first spotted him. So it's not a surprise.
Hero, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And even the same goes with that Jaiswal guy, right? Like they spotted him early and they know that this guy is a good talent, and both have relatively kept their heads straight. And it should not surprise people that this guy is consistent. He has got the goods to put scores on board. So
you missed out the only term we need to use for Shubman Gill: Shuddgi. Amol Buzumdar's famous line describing a famous phrase describing him: Shuddgi.
Prithvi Shaw died so Shubman Gill can walk.
Why are you saying died, man? Prithvi Shaw walked so that Shubman Gill can run. Get the phrase right. Okay.
Sai Baba has not smiled from heaven for us.
No, Ashoka has been radicalized by Vase and MP.
He just killed off one poor guy, man.
I know. This is why he's doing this stuff.
Yeah.
No, died from the public view, man. Like he's now playing in county and stuff like that. But anyway, so these guys are even if you can add Rishabh Pant is what? Around the same age, no? The mid-20s, mid to 20 to 26 bracket these guys are. So these guys all came up from within the system. They are all identified as superior talents and they are delivering now. I mean, if Pant, you talk about Gill with 550 scores consecutively, Pant has 5 centuries and 6 90s. He could have easily been the guy with 11 centuries at age 26. That
Yeah.
and that would have been madness because Rohit Sharma and Rahane have 12 centuries.
Rohit
Pant,
Sharma barely played any test matches at age 26, man.
No. I'm saying in a sum total of career at age 26, if Pant has like 550s and 690s, that's a mad career. That's not even a career of a wicketkeeper. He's a.
And let's
he's
not
like
forget that those runs have come across the world, across conditions like England, Australia, India,
South
Africa.
South Africa, probably that Cape Town. My God, like that's like that. All that is like once in a lifetime kind of stuff, man. Yeah, amazing.
So yeah. So that I don't think Pant and Gill are talents that you will find, every week or every year.
Yeah, and that is really India's big problem right now, because there aren't really any obvious standout talents in the area where they really need there to be obvious standout talents. There are no standout fast bowler, and there's no standout spinner right now. And look, Jadeja and Ashwin. Ashwin is 38 now. Jadeja is 35. They are not.
I mean,
going to be
Kuldeep
around
is
for
the
long.
standout spinner who.
But even then, I mean, there's.
And then
Kuldeep
there's
is
one guy
also
who played
30.
in the Duleep Trophy, who seems to have a lot of talent.
Yeah, but
He's
one
okay.
of the
Manav Sutar.
Manav
they are
Sutar,
looking. That's why India they picked this guy Dayal, because they want
Yash
to
Dayal.
take a left arm fast bowler to Australia.
He's
they
not
are
a fast bowler.
They are
He's
looking
just a
for
middle.
two things basically. They are looking for left arm pace, and they're looking for a tall bowler. And that was one of the reasons why they were so keen on Prasidh Krishna, and also on Saini. But Saini's had injury problems and stuff, and Prasidh Krishna also had injury problems. I mean, that's one of the things that's true about like tall bowlers. They tend to be injury prone. Which is another reason why like the Australians are so amazing. Like they've got these three tall fast bowlers, and those guys are almost never out injured, man. Okay, Hazelwood misses out once in a while, but even then they manage to keep them up and running most of the time. So, but that's a real problem for India. I mean,
No, they're also looking for a Shardul-like replacement. No, bowler who can bat, like the
they want a fast
fifth
bowler who can
bowler.
bat. Yeah, they
Fast
looking.
bowler who can bat, and Hardik is not playing tests, so which
What's
means
his
you
name?
want
Dubey is the latest, but I don't think Dubey's fast bowling is
Dubey,
quite up to scratch.
Nitish Reddy. So
Yeah, they're giving, and I've also heard that next Ranji season, apparently Hardik is going to represent Baroda, so he's also trying his hand. He's also trying his hand.
What trying his hand, man? He has no competition for that position. If he plays and if he's able to show that he can survive a test match on fitness, he's going to play, man.
If Hardik can get through a whole Ranji season without getting injured, that is a big plus in itself. So it's good that he's
whole
playing.
Ranji season? If he plays 4 games without being injured, that they'll take him to Australia, man.
Yeah, correct.
But what? How? The Ranji will happen later, no?
No.
I don't know.
At some point they'll take him if he's fit. Not this time. Yeah.
They'll take him to England next year then.
Yeah, England. Actually, he'll be very good in England if he can retain fitness. He even won that match. No, Nottingham. Once he bowled India to victory in one match. So.
But see, to Katie's point, I'm kind of optimistic because we have been through the 90s and 2000s, no, and the domestic scene right now, you may not get Bumrah. Of course, even if the domestic scene was the greatest domestic scene in the world, you're not going to get a Bumrah. Bumrah doesn't come.
Yeah, but you could get a Siraj.
Of the system.
No. You could get a Siraj and an Akashdeep.
Yeah, but the gap between Bumrah and Siraj is quite. It's a
but
step.
You can see
but you will settle for a Siraj now.
Yeah, you will settle for a Siraj. You'll plan for a Siraj. If you get a Bumrah, it's a bonus. So if you get like 2-3 Siraj type bowlers, you've gotten one in Akashdeep who can level to that. I mean, who can come to that level. You will get 2-3 like that, man. I mean, only problem I see with these kind of bowlers is that their second and third spells they need to keep their pace up. That if somebody proves, I think they're going to get into the Indian team, and because what you now have is like people like Kaverappa and Mukesh and Vijay Kumar Vaishak, and there is a guy called Vasuki Kaushik. They are all insanely accurate. They get a lot of wickets, like truckload of wickets in the domestic. But if you see their speeds, it's like in the 120s, right? But that will not translate to a good international career.
That's basically you're describing Vinay Kumar, no? I mean, no. Gun domestic record and medium pace.
Yeah. But these guys, I think, are like they have like nearly.
I mean, that guy, didn't we have a bowler? I don't know. Sidvi might remember his name. He was playing when he was used to cover this bowler from Punjab.
Punjab had a bowler called Gagandeep Singh. Okay, he played many years, and he was a very similar kind of bowler. 120s, accurate. He played truckload of domestic wickets and all that. So this is like a standard domestic template. The issue is, can they hit 135? Mid 130s?
No. That is one kind of a domestic bowler. The other kind of the domestic bowler is like Navdeep Singh and Umesh Yadav, who will come with like and Varun Aaron. They'll come with like 140, 145 pace. But the second spell, Umran Malik. They'll come with that.
That Mayank, what's his name? Mayank
Yadav.
Oh yeah, what about that guy? Is he playing Ranji?
Forget Ranji,
not
man.
Even
he played. he played 3 IPL matches, got injured, and now he's in rehab.
Oh, okay.
So that's the problem with these guys. So you have to, I mean, Siraj is. Now you realize that a Siraj is kind of a unique thing to come out of this system. Someone who can bowl 138, 140 consistently and be, reasonably accurate and even threatening.
I mean, you want to see what will happen if you take Ashwin, Jadeja, Shami, and Bumrah out of the Indian attack, right? And you'll see that a lot of the time when India bowl, it will be like watching Bangladesh bowl to India in the second innings. When was the last time we had that kind of situation with India bowling? And we never have that. We rarely, I can count on the fingers of one hand, that kind of situation, with these 4 bowlers being available. And that's really their quality. They have this ability to make batters uncomfortable in a wider variety of conditions than pretty much any other quartet in the history of the game, I'd say. And that's a remarkable ability. And also they are playing in this very compressed, accelerated age where, suddenly you'll see in the last 5 years, like last 4 years, I'd say even, every top order in Test cricket now has 3 or 4 guys who can play the reverse sweep and the flat sweep. Those shots used to be really rare. Now they are commonplace. And I think that's because video study is making like change and modifications so much more in an accelerated fashion. And still these guys are 10 years down, they're still around. That's a remarkable thing for Ashwin and Jadeja.
No, I think I was the final day, right? I mean, I was watching that, and the first hour, Bangladesh get through the first hour without losing a wicket. But even in that first hour, and even like the way the Indian bowlers were bowling on a pitch that was like flat, man. There was nothing much happening. Batting
and the ball is
old ball, flat pitch. Not like hurrying them or anything. But even then, the number of chances that the batters had to take, it wasn't like they were just coolly taking singles and twos. They were actually taking those chances. And the kind of, you knew that, okay, you get past 1 hour, they're not going to be able to do much more. And then Ashwin comes on after drinks to bowl to Shakib. And in that over itself, I mean, he troubles him through that over. And then he finally gets him with that, bat pad. And that was coming. It wasn't like something that happened. It was coming because he was so relentless. And then Liton Das comes in, new batter comes in against Jadeja. He was trying to go for it, slog sweeps, and then the game ended pretty soon after that. And that just shows the quality. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can get through 1 hour against this Indian team on a flat pitch with an old ball, but that's pretty much what the peak is going to be. And
this is without Shami being around.
Oh yeah, without Shami, and even they didn't even need like Bumrah to Bumrah did bowl and he got some really good balls and all that. But I'm saying even if Bumrah hadn't bowled at all, the threat was still imminent. The wickets were still coming, and that speaks for the greatness. I think you just the thing is, I think it's important to watch the opposition batters bat even when they're not losing wickets, and you still feel that it's just a matter of you feel the wicket is coming. I think that speaks volumes for the quality of a bowling attack. It's not just like, okay, they're just running through and getting wickets. It's also when they're not getting wickets, they're threatening so often. And that doesn't happen when Bangladesh are bowling or when most teams are bowling. So, yeah, I think, again, we keep saying it. It's not that we're going to keep seeing this quality for a long time. So enjoy when it lasts.
Yeah, enjoy while it lasts.
Like 3 years later, we may well be going through transition and new bowlers, not as good, definitely not as good as Ashwin and Jadeja spinners. Kuldeep will play, of course, but yeah, the second spinner won't be as good.
Speaking of things which lasts, we should also talk about two things that didn't last long. No, Rohit and Kohli. Especially Kohli missed a half volley, man. One juicy half volley he missed and got LBW.
Dude, I think by now on this
it's
podcast
worse than that.
with Karthikeya,
he missed it.
I think by now it's pretty clear that bowling is what matters, man. Kohli will score eventually, but come on, it's hard to beat this Indian team with this kind of bowling attack. So
what Fab 4, he has slipped from grace. He's gone from 50 average to 49 to 48.
Who is the Fab 4?
The original Fab 4
only. Original Joe
Fab
Root.
4 and all has no meaning, man. Ganguly was part of it at one point.
No, that is different.
How Fab can it be?
That is the OG Fab 4. I am talking about new gen Fab 4. Smith, Williamson, Root and Kohli.
Oh, they're not even from one team.
No, yeah, this is the Martin Crowe. Martin Crowe coined this way back in some 2012 or something, man. He said these are the Fab 4 that will dominate cricket, and that was there was good foresight in 2012, I think.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Kohli missing half volley. Who's going to say he should be dropped?
Ashoka, I think you're on the wrong platform. I think Twitter is your medium for this question, where you'll get a lot of clickbait and impressions and all that.
I was on Reddit.
I have one question again. How do you tell when a batsman is looking rusty? And what happens? Like there's like what
I can tell when a batsman
you see rust on the bat, man. You see rust on the bat. Anyway, no, I'm sorry, Ashoka. I'm not falling for it. We will discuss Virat Kohli in the next test. You please go to Reddit or some platform where you'll get a lot of engagement with this Kohli question.
No, but speaking of, what about the other guy? Actually, the one genuinely controversial selection.
Who, KL Rao?
Yeah.
Why is he controversial now?
I don't know. Like Sanjay Manjrekar, his first innings.
What about Sarfaraz?
His first innings was described by Sanjay Manjrekar as an aimless innings.
Oh God!
Aimless batting. What nonsense!
Purposeless batting.
They were 90 for 4, dude. They were 30 for 3 and 90 for 4. What the hell?
Yeah, he was hanging around building a stand, and then he flicked one straight into square leg for short leg's hands, and short leg took I think short leg took like an unbelievable catch, but for some reason it didn't register. Like nobody said, "Wow, what a catch!" and all that. It came off the bat, man. It was not off the pad or the inside edge or something like. It was on the face of the bat.
See, I don't want to be seen defending KL Rahul and all, right? But still, you
It's all
can't
right.
be
Nobody
saying.
can see you here.
I don't want to be heard defending KL Rahul. But you can't be saying Bangladesh bowled well and reduced India 144 for 6 and then go to criticize KL Rahul. We were 34 for 3 when he came to bat. No, so, and we got 90 something for 4 and then 144 for 5 and then it's fine. He did a good job.
Dude, KL Rahul is coming back, man. He's coming back
Pant
into
did play
the
a
team.
shit shot in the first innings, huh?
Yeah, he did. But he got
But that
carried
is
away.
Pant. Pant plays his shit shots and sometimes they go for 6.
I mean, come on, there. That you comes with the territory. You don't really, But one thing that you reminded me of, there was some really good close-in catching in this test as well. I think the Indian spinners were really helped with sharp catching, man. I mean, Jaiswal
Except
and
for first slip, it was all good.
I think he also took.
First slip was like late on everything, man. The ball is like flying like on the left side, right side, everything. It's like he's just.
Who our guy? Rohit Sharma.
Yeah. He was. It was.
And then he takes
hard,
one
man.
sitter,
Final day.
and he would took one sitter or return toss, and everybody's like a sharp catch, like the way Rohit Sharma is, like there's no other type of catch he's going to take, man. So everything he takes is going to be sharp. Mahesh should be up for this, man. Come on, this it's no fun like going after Rohit Sharma.
Yeah. Mahesh is missing too many podcasts. I think next, you know what? Next test, Rohit Sharma is going to score some double 100 and Mahesh is going to come.
Magically, he'll appear.
He'll appear out of nowhere. So, okay, looking forward to that. Now, I need to wrap this up. I need to get on with my day. Thank you so much for joining. We have spoken about this test, but we've also spoken about many things, not this test. But hope you enjoyed listening and hope you can join us for the review of the next test, which will also be kind of a series review, but mostly talking about Kanpur. Hoping for similarly good performance from Bangladesh, but also a closer fight. Hopefully they can get their 5 bowlers together. Get a pitch that helps their spinners, and then we have a good making of a good contest. I think India are still obviously overwhelming favorites across conditions, but would love to see a closer, sort of a better Bangladesh bowling performance. Let's see how they go. 81allout.com is our website. 81allout at 81allout is our handle on X. You can please subscribe to our podcast on various platforms and rate and review it if you like us. That'll be really helpful for people to find the podcast, and it gets recommended on their feeds and so on. You can also check out the books we've republished. I'll put links to all of that. War Minus the Shooting by Mike Marquesi comes highly recommended. I would definitely urge all of you to pick up that book. But there are also a couple of other books. Cricket Beyond the Bazaar, the history of Australia's tour tours to India and the subcontinent in the 80s. That'll be an interesting read with India's tour of Australia coming up later in the year. Bit of history. And then we also have The Summer Game by Gideon Hay, which is the history of Australian cricket in the 60s. Again, a very timely read with cricket in Australia in the Australian summer about to start. Thank you. Thank you, Ashoka. Thank you, Kartikeya. And see you after this next test. Take care. Good night.
India have won the series. They're going to get back for 2. India home. Lords goes wild.